You weren't meant to hear that bell. Almost there, just a couple more things. Just need to get the server started up and do a quick bit of something else on social media, then I can get going. I am quite close. Hello, whoever else that is watching me at the moment. Me fumbling around with all sorts of things and what have you. Because that's what I do at the start of these streams. Still takes me a bit to get to grips with everything, but I am getting there. Okay, that should be the server up. Hopefully I can get into it now. Alright, we are in. Is this all boarded up okay? Yeah, that's fine. That was the wrong button. That's into Discord. Take that out. that's fine, that's okay, and I think I am ready to go. Hello my fellow haunts, and welcome back to another modded Minecraft livestream, the 21st overall on this channel, I do believe. And today we are back on the Paranoid SMP in a, well, hopefully for this stream, a secret little location, as I have been enlisted with a particular task on this server, and that is what I shall be working on here today, hopefully, with all of my supplies behind me. Bit of digging out and what have you in this area, and a kind of a bit of building here and there as well. So without further ado, let us just begin this live stream. Just turn down the background music a little bit though. That's a bit too low. There we go, that should be okay. That was the wrong be right back screen. But at least I got the right broadcast button. But yes, this is basically a project that I have been enlisted to do in the Paranoid SMP by the rest of, well, this is kind of a job that I have as the kind of member of the Crown Crew that I am. This is my particular task for the Crown Crew. Operating and building a little network in a undisclosable location for this live stream, and just to be protective against other kind of members on the server that may want to fight the Crown Crew at some point. But no, it's going really well so far, and these all mean something. These planks, they all lead to particular areas in this kind of underground location. So I have a fair bit to do here today, and have built a kind of house as well underground with my kind of player head collection here as well. This is my head at the very end here, and that has the first set of armor I got on this server as well, which is really cool. That may need to go down a little bit more for myself. I'm still not used to this. Maybe the master volume to my computer generally. Go. It's a little better. There you go. But for the first time in quite a while, I shall be kind of going back to the old formula of my streams, because I don't particularly know if anybody else is live streaming on the server tonight and at this particular time. I believe Ori said he was going to stream around now tonight at her time. Is that's fine. But I think they ended up streaming a little earlier than expected today, which is alright. So I think instead of me kind of talking and conversing with other kind of chat members and other crew members of the server, I think it's just going to be me flying solo tonight. So I don't particularly know how that is going to go. So the video that I will be kind of discussing and kind of waxing on about tonight is 5 most chilling and scariest pieces of paranormal evidence ever by Top Fives, who is a channel I have discussed on here before. I believe in my last live stream for the Plasma Paradigm world at the moment, stream 18, I talked about them a bit in that as well. This particular YouTube channel, and also talked about them in the past, who are over a very good YouTube channel to do with the paranormal and ghost stories overall. I would have said last time I talked about 5 most haunted graveyards in the world, video from them, which was absolutely fantastic, which was in stream 18. I made a lot of recordings of that stream. If they will see the light of day in a particular video at some point, I'm not 100% certain, but that is probably another project for me to work on for this channel, because I also would like to work on and do a compilation video of clips I've gotten from the server and what have you recently. Like, I recently performed a prank on Fallen and Sunny, 2 other members of the Crown crew, that I made recordings of that whole kind of prank I did, and I've recorded a couple people's reactions. I've got one person's reaction to it, which I think might be KD, possibly, I'm not 100% sure, but I also got Ori's reaction, well, most of Ori's reaction, and I also have a bit of Sunny's reaction as well, so that will probably make for a good video on this channel at some point, but I'm not 100% sure when that will be, because it could just be a matter of me using old-fashioned Windows Movie Maker, as I traditionally do on this channel, or learn, I think it's called DaVinci Resolve, which a few other members of the Crown crew use, and is something that I would like to get into in terms of an editing software, because I have heard it is really good and easy to use and free, or easy to learn and free to use as well, from what I've heard. So that is something that I would like to look into at some point, but I think for now I mainly want to focus on live streams and shorts on this channel, with occasionally freaking full edited videos occasionally on this channel, but it's all something to be worked on in the future and what have you. So, as mentioned, the top 5s video that I would like to discuss on this particular video, or live stream rather, is 5 most chilling and scariest pieces of paranormal evidence ever. And the first in the 5 clips that there are present within this particular video is a old clip taken on the Magnolia Plantation by the Ghost Adventures team, which is a clip that was recorded in the 4th episode, during the making of the 4th episode of their 2nd season of their show. The whole subject of Ghost Adventures I'll get back to in a moment, because they are quite a interesting topic overall. so to speak, in terms of what's kind of come out about them in recent years, but that's kind of for later. That's my phone falling over with my notes on it. Do I have an empty chest here? I do not. This is all very unorganized, as you can see. But the Magnolia Plantation was a old United States cotton farm building built in 1830. It was known for voodoo and other practices that happened there, and is thought to be haunted by slaves that used to be employed in quotation marks at the plantation, but the whole plantation as a whole was abandoned after watchmen were shot during the American Civil War. And in this particular episode of Ghost Adventures, the team were investigating this area for an episode. And at one particular circumstantial instance where they were getting or kind of waiting to be locked into a cabin for the night by I guess you could say the person that was, well, looking after the place, or the person that was enrolled to lock them into the place, waiting on them. They were waiting on this person, and a particular light in a adjacent cabin began to turn on and off by itself as the team and what have you were waiting on this person to come and lock them in. And where was I? The cabin itself is completely locked up, and there is nobody inside of it, or meant to be inside of it. And it's completely locked and what have you, and in turn there is no kind of discernible explanation for as to how it can be flickering on and off this particular light, so to speak. And the, I guess you could say, janitor or person that's coming to lock them in is completely baffled by this event and what have you, and says that they have never seen anything quite like it before in their time at working at the plantation. Zach and Aaron do a very good job of displaying and debunking, it would seem, the debunking and kind of displaying. So that's just got squashed. Okay. Move that. Zach and Aaron do a very good job of displaying the situation, it would seem, should I say. And is that going to be okay? It's fine. It's okay, like that. They do a very good job of doing all of that, such as debunking apparently various aspects of it, such as motion sensor and locked doors. And overall, whereas it is a very interesting clip overall, I would have said. It does come from Ghost Adventures, which are quite a notorious act of people in terms of the ghost hunting thing, in terms of all of the kind of controversy they've caused and what have you. I think it is only fair to call them the most haunted, but the most haunted of America, shall we say. I think that's probably the best way of describing them overall, I would have said. And there's been so much coming about them over recent years, such as, let's not mince words here, Zach, who is the lead investigator, being very kind of egotistical about a lot of different things, actually, both to do with the Ghost Adventures show and paranormal ghost hunting in general. Like, it is known that he uses his powers, so to speak, in the kind of travel television, if that's the company's name, kind of company, and in his own niche, to try and kind of get every other paranormal show on that particular channel and what have you cancelled, so he can be the only one with a ghost hunting program on this particular television channel, to my understanding. He's very egotistical and even maniacal in a ways, I guess you could say, from looking at him and seeing what he has done overall. And yeah, very kind of unpleasant character overall, I would have said, definitely. And there's been so much coming out over the years in terms of what is real and what hasn't been, and what isn't real in terms of Ghost Adventures and what have you. Like, back in the days of whenever it was in its heyday, in the early or the late 2000s, when it was in its kind of heyday and kind of golden era, there was a lot of debate then as to it being fakes and what have you. But so much, I believe, has come out recently about so many things being fakes and what have you. Like Zach actively telling other members of the crew to fake this and fake that, for example. So, whereas it is an interesting kind of clip overall, it is kind of unfortunately marred by that kind of context around it, so to speak, that kind of unfortunate uncertainty principle around it as to if it is fake or not. And at the end of the day, it is most likely a fake clip because of the notoriety of this investigative team. And you know, it kind of sucks in a way, because I kind of grew up with Ghost Adventures and Doctor Who, I would have said. Like, I'm UK, and there's this channel on TV called Really, where every Thursday it would broadcast a double bill of Ghost Adventures episodes, and I would watch that kind of religiously every week for a period. And because there was no kind of DVD releases and what have you of the show, any kind of episode of the show that I found on YouTube, I would end up downloading and kept in a folder on my computer, I unfortunately ended up deleting that folder some time ago, unfortunately, and can't recover it. But I think I had about 40 episodes in that document, in that folder overall of Ghost Adventures. And whereas I do have, I guess you could say, good memories of it in terms of it being a source of quote-unquote ghost stories in the kind of vein of how I look at them for my streams and what have you. At the end of the day, it is kind of frustrating and infuriating to know that all of this is fake and what have you. It would be interesting as a kind of a plot twist to actually find out that there is a couple pieces of evidence in Ghost Adventures that are actually legit, but I highly doubt that that is something that would ever come out and ever happen these days because of how much bullshit has come out about this team, how egotistical Zach is, and how badly Nick was treated by Zach and Aaron. And even though Aaron is kind of a puppet under Zach's strings as well, I believe, it's a really kind of corrupt situation from what I know about it and what have you. And it's just unfortunate that such a popular TV program of the time with so kind of many memories of it and what have you, for myself, has just kind of ended up in the way that it has. Like, there was a good chance in the beginning that not all of it was real, and okay, fair enough. Like, I'm sure they would have, like, for TV purposes and what have you, like, I'm sure that they would have had to have faked a couple things here and there to make it more lively. But to think about the possibility that absolutely none of the show was real in the first place is a bit heartbreaking in a way, because I had so many memories of the program and really enjoyed watching it. Like, I remember they did 2 very long special episodes, one which was a kind of 90-minute Halloween episode, I think. No, that might have been another one, but the one I'm actually thinking of was one where they went to Transylvania and investigated the areas that the real Vlad the Impaler resided in, and I guess in turn the locations and locale that inspired Bram Stoker to write Dracula, I suppose, if he was at all influenced by those particular areas, because it is known that the character of Dracula was based off of Vlad the Impaler. So it's obviously notable that Bram got his inspiration for Dracula from Vlad the Impaler, and that's what the character was based off of. But if there was any kind of locational inspo for Bram Stoker, I do not know that personally. I don't really know too much about the Dracula novel. Anyway, I have watched a few adaptations of it, but I have not read the book. And the other kind of Halloween one that I remember, or the kind of special episode that I remember by Ghost Adventures, was another 90-minute special one where they went to Ireland and did investigations at 2 to 3 very notorious haunted locations in Ireland, which I remember finding very entertaining as well. And there's other episodes that I remember really enjoying, such as a fair few of the episodes from Series 10, which was the Queen Mary boat investigation, some kind of modern house investigation that on some kind of hillside area that they investigated. And I also remember the Exorcist house episode, the clip of the brick, the Villisca Axe murder house episode, and all sorts of other kind of bits and pieces that I remember of the show. So it's kind of something that I grew up with, Ghost Adventures, but it's unfortunate that it's kind of ended in the way that it has, this particular program, and it's all kind of soured in a way with all of the drama and negativity that has happened over time to everybody on the show, and all of the power hungry kind of corruption that has occurred in the show, unfortunately. But yeah, there's all sorts of stories and what have you to do with Ghost Adventures that I could waffle on about, so to speak. It's very rich for stories and what have you, Ghost Adventures, I would have said. And in terms of its UK counterpart, Most Haunted, I have seen bits and pieces of Most Haunted, and I do remember enjoying that as well. But again, it's unfortunate that a lot of that is most likely fake as well. As drawing back into the comparisons I made earlier, Ghost Adventures is the kind of American equivalent of Most Haunted, which is from the UK. And kind of vice versa as well, because the main presenter of Most Haunted and what have you, Yvette Fielding, has had, I guess you could say, similar accusations in terms of faking things, I believe, but not quite to the egotistical level of Zach Bagans at the same time, I'm pretty sure. But no, I watched a couple seasons of Most Haunted a few years ago now, but yeah, with again everything that's kind of come out about that show, a lot of people just kind of eye roll at the mention of Most Haunted now because of everything that has kind of come out about it, and kind of, well, everything that's kind of come out about it, and all of the bad stuff around it to do with like Derek Okora and what have you. And that's the other thing about these kinds of shows and what have you. You never know for certain if they have faked it or not. Personally, for me, I would say I don't jump at these things and declare that they are real. But at the same time, I do say all of it is possible. And my main argument for the likes of the paranormal and psychic people being real and what have you, and a possibility within our planet, my main argument for that is religion is a huge part of the world. It's a very well integrated thing into many different cultures and societies of the countries of this planet, and that in of itself is an extremely spiritual thing and what have you, and that is embraced by millions across planet Earth religion, and that in of itself is an extremely spiritual thing, as I've said. And with ghosts being a very spiritual thing as well, to me then it kind of comes down to, well, if religion is on the table for the world, why isn't the paranormal and ghosts and what have you? You know, it just doesn't make sense when one is so widely embraced by many in the world and the other one either doesn't get talked about too much or is just kind of frowned upon, as it were. You know, it's a little interesting kind of slice of dichotomy history, I guess you could say. I don't even know if there's a dichotomy in there, but not quite sure what other word I was able to thinking of there. But yeah, overall I didn't expect that section and discussion here to go on for quite so long. But it is what it is, and I guess that's what I kind of do at the end of the day in these streams, kind of ramble on and have a good ramble about ghost stories and what have you on this channel when I'm not collaborating with other YouTubers and what have you, or content creators on this particular server. But yeah, overall I think that's all I've really got to say in terms of this and the whole kind of huge subject matter around Ghost Adventures generally, which I probably could write a thesis on, to be honest. There's so much to it that I could talk about and pick apart and analyse, and I think I've probably got the brunt of all of it there in that massive rambling section. Anyways, let's see. That's that. It's always annoying transporting things and what have you across here, or transporting items, so to speak. But still, it's a relatively quick process, and you know, something that can easily be done pretty quickly, I would have said. It's that, there's nothing more than that. There's nothing in those chests for some reason. That's interesting. So that's me done with this, and then I can probably get on with a bit more of the building here. Probably chip this away a little more, just so I've got a bit more space. And this is kind of a project that is still very much in flux and what have you. I kind of have a vision for it and what have you, but no kind of finished set plans overall, I would have said. Whereabouts was all of the stuff that I put in here? That seems like the majority, some of it. Then let's do that, and then that and that, and then also, so I'm also going to need to do a cross section into this, I suppose, as well, which will be okay, because what I can do with this here, then this can kind of merge into here like so. That looks a little maybe first to do that, possibly. That looks a bit better, actually. It's okay. Let's quickly chop this away as well. Let's do that. Hopefully I'll be able to embrace a few more kind of natural curves and what have you into this build and not make it look as straight, so to speak, and so angular. It's just never good with a Minecraft world. Let's see. See here, and then I'm kind of color coding things to sections and what have you in here. So this one can probably see here. Let's pick this up. And then that will kind of merge into this line here, perhaps. And then I can have like guidance arrows and stuff, sort of various parts. This will take the crown crew as well. So that's okay. And then I think, is there any kind of floor pattern blocks and what have you that I can use here? Let's do that. And then, because I'm using the color spruce, that thing, is that a forager's table? I've never seen that before. Let's see, what's this one? I've seen this one before, it's quite nice. Plank design, Divine RPG, and you just get 9 like that. It's possible, that one. It's got a nice kind of texture to it. So that just crates, yeah, it's a crate from Divine RPG, that's fine. But no, I think I'm gonna experiment with those a little bit, that kind of Divine RPG plank idea as a kind of a floor thing. Well, you get a lot from that. So I think how this is gonna work is, because there's going to be a path that way going to elsewhere as well, but I'm not showing that way just to protect the location of this place. I've even gone to the precaution of taking off my F3 key as well for this particular zone, or this particular stream as well. And then can you turn these into planks or no? Or am I going to have to worry? Or slabs, I mean. Doesn't look like it. Can use them as wooden blocks. What wooden blocks though as well? What the heck was that? Was that somebody sharing bits or something? I have no idea what that sound was. So I think that was... Cat, thank you very much for the follow there. Thanks very much for the follow. That's what that noise was. Still getting used to all of these kind of sound effects on Twitch and what have you. Now, unfortunately, does this mean... I think this means here I'm going to have to make this 3 wide, because there's no way that I am going to... like, because I spent quite a while making this house, there's no way that I'm going to cut that back. So I think this is going to have to be kind of converted into this kind of plank block and what have you. I would have said, let's go through here. But no, with modded Minecraft, obviously there's a lot of kind of tricks and what have you to resources and stuff, and whereas there is far less resources in this or resource shortcuts in this particular iteration of modded Minecraft than I am used to with modded Minecraft, as this is 1.21.8 and I'm used to playing whatchamacallit 1.7.10 modded Minecraft. And this is 1.21.8. There's a lot of things and stuff that I'm doing in this that I'm still not used to in this, like this unbreakable pickaxe, for example, which is absolutely fantastic. Hello Skull, hope you're doing well today. I'm doing very well actually, yes. Thank you very much, Kat. I hope you're feeling how do I word this? I hope everything is how do I say this? Just I'm here for you if you need anything, Kat. I think that's probably the best way I can say it and what have you. But yeah. Yeah, hope you're doing all right. I guess it's difficult to word for me. But yeah, I'm doing fine. Just working on the I guess I could say a network project. I think is the best and closest way I can describe this project without going into too many details and what have you about the specificities of it. It's fine. It's okay. And then I think this whole wall is gonna get chopped back. I think you'll make a really cool network. Thank you very much. As you can probably see, this does kind of form a huge kind of rectangular kind of square area, as you can see, and the idea is to have some kind of building or kind of base in the middle of it at some point, but that is a fair while away to getting to that point. And as I kind of said at the start of this stream and what have you, I'm kind of have a vision for it, but it's still gonna take its time to kind of come together, so to speak. Let's do that. Yeah, I think I'm pretty much set on this plank design here actually, because I like how these little squares look like the spruce wood that I like, and then it's got kind of oak wood in there as well, which kind of adds a bit of kind of colour and what have you. It seems like they've just taken miniature versions of spruce planks and oak planks and just kind of merged them into one kind of checkerboard block, which is quite cool. Let's see. And then for going around the corner here, I think this needs to be like that. So there's a fourth block there. And then that can act as a kind of a good corner, and then there can be kind of more kind of stairs or something around the area here, which will kind of be like that, I believe, with an indentation here. As I kind of said earlier, I don't want this to be too kind of angular and what have you. Because it wouldn't look very natural otherwise. But yeah, so I've got a lot in my inventory right now. Let us do C here. Do that, and then that, and then can kind of place this down and come back to you in a moment once I have dug up the floor here. So going back to the top fives video that I was kind of talking about earlier, and my video that I have as a kind of a discussion topic for this stream and what have you. The second entry into its video, the second kind of entry in this video is simply called the Raynham Hall Ghost, and this is probably my favourite of all of the kind of stories in this video, I would have said, whereas all of them are quite good, maybe with the exception of the Ghost Adventures one, because of what has come out about that team in recent time and what have you. But all of the clips in this kind of video generally are very good overall, I would have said. And the Raynham Hall Ghost one was probably my personal favourite. Over time and what have you, with my kind of love for the supernatural and ghosts kind of broadening and deepening and really kind of expanding in several ways, in part with me going back to old literature and kind of reading the ghost stories of M.R. James and books from the British Library Tales of the Weird book series. I kind of really have expanded my kind of appreciation for ghost stories and what have you, also by looking at films and old TV shows, and I kind of bring this all up and what have you at this particular section because of how the story is in this particular surrounding the Raynham Hall Ghost photograph, which I'll get back to. It genuinely feels like this could like straight out be an old Victorian ghost story, as it were, I would have said. It was taken quite a long time ago, this particular photograph I'm about to discuss in the story here, taken back in the 1910s, I would say. But still, it really does feel like this could have easily have been ripped out of a classic piece of ghost literature and it makes me wonder if anybody has ever done that, taken an old true ghost story, true in quotation marks, and like a photograph around it or something like this, and adapt it into a piece of prose fiction, as it were. I really feel like somebody could easily do that with the Raynham Hall ghost, as it were. Let's see. So the Raynham Hall was, or is, or the Raynham Hall, don't know if it is still standing and what have you, was a particular grand mansion home in Norfolk, England, built in 1619 by Sir Roger Townsend, and it the whole housing ground and or building occupied 7,000 acres of land, and and is responsible for one of the oldest and most famous purported photos for a ghost ever. Let's just get the music going back again, as that's coming to the end. There we go. Let's see here. Fill this bit as well. And then I'll get to the story and stuff. Do that. Do that and that. Excellent. So in 1936, country life photographers Captain Provand and his assistant Mr. Shirar were assigned to taking photos of the building for a kind of a feature in that particular magazine, and it was on a 4 p.m. on the 19th of September 1936, and they were taking photos of the staircase at this point, and there was a particular commotion coming up during this particular moments and what have you. At the time, Captain Provand was fiddling around with his camera equipment and getting it all set up and what have you, where his assistant Mr. Shirar proclaimed to see an apparition on the staircase that they were due to be photographing. Captain Provand couldn't look up to see the ghost or whatever it was at the time, because his head was underneath an old piece of cloth, the old kind of cloth people used for old photography and what have you. And in the commotion, Mr. Shirar, I believe, going by what I remember of this video, proclaimed to see something on the staircase and shouted over to Captain Provand if they were ready with the photography equipment, and they just about were. according to my notes here, is said in the video that, according to story, that Shiraz saw a blurry apparition walking down the stairs. And with the vocal monitoring that Shiraz just did, the captain was able to take a photo just in time. It was developed and it reportedly showed what Shiraz claimed to have seen, and it has gone on to become one of the most famous ghost photographs of the UK, and possibly one of the most famous ghost photographs of all time. I want to say one of the most famous ghost photographs of all time. It's truly a kind of staple within kind of ghost lore, this kind of particular photograph. And as what Shiraz saw, it showcases a cloaked, wispy white figure descending the stairs that they were photographing at the time. And reportedly at the time, many examined the photograph itself and I believe the negatives of it, and they those experts that examined it proclaimed it unlikely to be a hoax at all, because of things they found to do with the photograph, and it seemed genuine to them. But long before the photo, there were stories of the hall being haunted, correlating to what Mr. Shiraz saw and what the and what was his name, and Captain Provence saw. A story surrounding the hall of it being haunted long before the two took their photograph was a brown dressed figure with no eyes being seen by many at a Christmas gathering. And loads of other strange sightings have reportedly occurred within the hall as well over time. And if the photograph is real, it could be the spirit of Lady Dorothy Walpole, the second wife of Charles Townshend. She was reportedly mistreated, including being locked up in a room and a few other kind of unpleasant things happening to her that I don't fully recall for this video, or for this live stream, which is perhaps for the better, I would have said, just in case there's anybody watching this that is sensitive to that stuff. But overall, it's a very interesting kind of story and kind of picture attached to the story overall, I would have said. And yeah, overall I think it's a fantastic story, and as I said, it really does feel like it is directly ripped out of a piece of Victorian ghost story fiction, as it were. I find it really interesting overall, and it does make me think a lot of classic ghost movies that I do enjoy. Whether it be a selection of the A Ghost Story for Christmas films, which is my favourite TV series of all time, and some other things like The Haunting from 1963, to a lesser extent the Robert Wise film, and also And Now the Screaming Starts from the 70s by Amicus Productions, which is an insane film but a personal favourite of mine. And from what I know of this film and what have you, it also does make me think of The Innocents from 1961, 1962, 1961, or maybe even flat on 1960, which is another famous piece of ghost story cinema that I am yet to see, actually, although I do have a DVD of it downstairs. But from what I know of that film, that kind of echoes a fair bit of this. I get reminded a little bit of it from this story I've just kind of talked about in terms of a general kind of setting and what have you. But yeah, overall, the Raynham Hall Ghost is a bit of a classic story in terms of apparent, true and real ghost stories, and it is definitely a very interesting story overall. And is it real? Is it fake? Who knows? But this photograph was taken in 1936, where capabilities to do this kind of stuff were quite limited. Obviously there was kind of special effects and what have you back then with cinema. Like I am thinking of George Méliès films, but that was quite a long time before 1936 even. But no, a very interesting kind of story overall. Is it real? Is it fake? Who knows? But it does come from a time where digital manipulation and photography altering was a lot more difficult to do than it is nowadays. Let's just say that. See here. That's okay. Probably dig the rest of this out off stream and what have you. I might do a bit of exploring soon and see what I find, but I don't particularly want to take any more lives off of my roster here. But who knows? It might be fun for the stream. Let's see here. Let's do this and a bit of this. But no, I think generally speaking, I'm very happy with how this network project is going on and what have you. Obviously, I've done a lot of work to it off camera, and there will be more work being done to it off camera as well. And who knows, maybe there will be an impromptu stream on an impromptu and unscheduled stream on Sunday, because there's another community event planned for that particular day. If I'll be able to make it or not, who knows, but if I can, there will be another impromptu stream that night, which will be fun. So let me just fill this in, and then I think I am actually going to do some exploring and what have you, and see if I can find anything interesting. But I do have to be careful because of my lives and stuff. Let's do that. That, and then now I really like this kind of floor pattern block, I would have said overall. Do I have any stairs on me? No, that's got to be indented as well at some point, but I can fix this up and what have you and kind of get it a bit more to speed at some point. See here, let's do that and do that. See, it's that. Might need a few blocks for adventuring and stuff, and I will also take this bed as well. Let's see here. What I will take for adventuring is a couple axes. I won't take iron ones. Let's see here. Let's do that. And there's the point of how I could restore my lives with the golden hearts that I got in the stream events recently, but I don't particularly want to use a golden heart up on myself, because I feel like it would be interesting and what have you once to see what happens with those once the life system ends and what have you. Like, will we still be able to have those items on us on the server, and like, how do I say, have that as a kind of cool odd relic in my home and what have you, as it were, because I feel like it would be a kind of a cool kind of treasury kind of artifact to have in my home and what have you. I meant to go put those in a smelter. I will actually be right back and do that right now, actually. Let's see here. Come on, phone, stay awake. Let's go put these in the smelter, and then we'll do a bit of exploring, see what we find. Do that. But no, really happy with how the network is coming along so far, I would have said, and I do have more kind of build ideas and what have you for on this world once the life system is up. Like, I do plan on having a big kind of town project and what have you in that direction, which I think would be really cool. And you know, I think let's go exploring in this direction, and if I do get lost, I do have a book and quill in my chests in my project area with my coordinates in it. So for the second time, I will be right back when I've got that book and quill, because that has coordinates in it, and that will be a good kind of thing to keep on me for exploring, as I'll be able to note any kind of coordinates in it and what have you. Right, there it is. Let's do that. Nope, that was wrong. Do that. Equip an axe, and then I think I'm ready for an adventure once I get a little more food. Quite where this adventure will take me, I'm not 100% certain, but if it does go to shit, I can easily hide out somewhere and end the stream or something like that. My streams generally don't tend to be very long. Anyhow, Just the most recent two have been kind of flukes as it were. So to speak. Like, I was still not expecting the first stream on this server to go on for quite that long, but it did. Let's get some potatoes from here. Let's see. Yeah, I will just take more of those. Try and be considerate. So in terms of kind of plans and figuring things out for this, I had the idea of doing kind of a nature garden zone over this area here, and then over in this direction I think I will do a little town project and what have you, as I had kind of started in my first modded stream series that I did on this channel, the Plasma Paradigm World, as it was called. There could be a trouble if I go exploring. And caves and stuff could be a problem as well. Let's see here, where did my blocks go? There they go. I kind of left this trail to a nice area that I thought would be good to build a kind of a lakeside town in. It's quite far from the main Crown Crew area, but it could be cool at the same time. And I meant to bring some blocks with me. Oh well. Let's see here. Do I have a water bucket on me? I do not have a water bucket on me either. I might go back and get some actually. But this over here, hello Blue Jay. I think it's up here, yeah. I'm thinking here would be a fantastic area for a kind of town area at some point for in the world. As you can see, I would like this area. Have kind of made notes for it and what have you. Let's see here. That's fine. I think I am going to go back and then come back to this area and do a bit of exploring of those islands up there. I think that would be good. Hello. See, oh, skeleton died there. Let's see here. Let's do that. And get back up to here. I'm still struggling to like remember who's who in terms of houses. Like I know obviously this is a neighbour of ours, but I'm not 100% sure who built that and what have you. But it's something I will probably find out in due course. The kind of third section within this top fives video is simply called Haunted Lives. This was a American paranormal mini-series, and the investigators in this were looking at a house eventually bought by a couple called Kyle and Rita. Bad things started happening shortly thereafterwards with Kyle and Rita, which included unexplainable aggression towards each other and strange lights being seen in their home, as well as objects being moved around on their own. See here. It's fine. It's quite a few blocks, and there's a water bucket as well. That's brilliant. It's fine. It's okay. Make a few more axes as well, just in case. Never can have too many of those. One night, after returning from an outing, they returned to find a keyhole in the front door glowing red, with the home being unbearably hot and the lights were on. They then apparently broke out into an argument for apparently no reason, and felt like they were being attacked by a invisible force. Let's see. Later on, over a few months, the Haunted Lives team went into the house and tried to see what was going on in there, in turn setting up a few cameras. They captured all sorts of things in the due progress of this particular program. And they captured many drawers, doors and other objects moving, with one camera apparently being severely damaged during, I guess you could call it, an episode of supposed paranormal activity. And it's overall a very interesting kind of collection and what have you of apparent supernatural evidence and a kind of story behind it that all kind of forms together for a interesting and scary but somewhat but not the most remarkable ghost story ever. I would have said those ones are really close actually, aren't they? Let's see here. Let's see. Let's do, where's it, shadow? That's fine. But no, a really interesting collection of supposed real paranormal activity, I would have said. All of it could easily be faked, I would have said at the same time. A lot of it is just kind of objects moving and what have you. All on kind of low budget cameras and all kind of low tech kind of for the these days anyway kind of cameras and what have you, I would have said. See. It's definitely an interesting kind of collection of clips overall, I would have said, but at the same time it's not the most remarkable story collection of events overall, I would have said, in terms of a paranormal thing. Creepy and interesting, but nothing too outstanding, as it were. Right, hopefully this hasn't been raided by somebody else by me. see here. Very careful. Is this just a little... Okay. What do we have in here? Ooh, what's this? This doesn't look like it's been raided. No monsters, that's fantastic. Sturdy guard schematic, whatever that does, and iron horse armor. That's about it, other than the gold and what have you that there is in here. That's the below, the ground below. That bit is though, and that's probably one block within there. Let's see. And I've unlocked a terracotta recipe. Nice. Or a glazed terracotta recipe. As a person that's used to playing 1.7.10 Minecraft, it's very, very difficult for me to get used to calling these particular blocks terracotta and not hardened clay. I'm so used to calling them hardened clay overall, and it just feels weird and what have you to call them terracotta, and I probably will continue to call them hardened clay, something like that, for the time to come. It's an interesting one over there. There's another one up there as well. Interesting. Let's see. Let's cross all the way over here. I hear something. I hear a zombie. Okay. That's probably like villager purification chamber or something. Yeah. Ooh, eye trim. Interesting. Nice. Okay. So a smithing template out of that, and an empty map. Fair enough. There's a golden splash potion of weakness. As well, that I could use to cure him, but I don't really have any reason to do so. I might as well take that for a bit of loot and what have you. Okay then, achievement time. Lovely. I don't think there's really anything else down here. Let's see. Book and quill, NBT 2 tags. I'm assuming this is the, yeah, that's fine. Maybe I'll make a lectern for my own book and quill at some point. Take this as well, because those can be really good for trash cans in like a city world and what have you, town area type thing. But no, that's interesting to have found a smithing template. I'm not too sure. I haven't really heard anything about smithing templates on the server, and if anybody has found any yet, I imagine some people have, because somebody has managed to get shulker boxes and end rods without going to the end yet, which is quite something. They're an arrival faction to the Crown Crew, so oh, for goodness sake, there is a goblin in there. This could be interesting. Let's see. So there's little legs poking out. It's interesting. But yeah, it's a mystery as to how that player actually got all that kind of stuff and what have you without having to go to the end and what have you. But my best guess would be it's to do with the alchemy mod that is in the mod pack we play with here. Are you gonna fall, or you just staying like that. What you up to, buddy? Oh, there we go. He's just really indecisive about falling to his death, as would I be. Anyways, that was interesting. Yeah, this is another igloo, obviously. So more villager purification stuff down in the bottom. Did I get the golden apple? I did not get the golden apple from the other one. That was a bit of a mistake on my part. It's down here. So we've got 2 zombies for some reason. Another weakness potion. I will take the brewing stand, and I will take the golden apple, and I will take the item frame, and I will take the cauldron. What's in here? Curse of Growl Palm protection free. Don't know what that does. Another eye trim, which is nice. Take that. Quick charge 1 and loyalty 3. I'm not really sure what either of those do, but I will take them. Well, that's that. Nothing really more to see here. I have the golden apple from this one. Yeah, and it's probably time to sleep as well. Let's see, there are monsters nearby, unfortunately. So these guys are gonna have to go, probably. Goodbye. And let's just probably just drop them to the ground. Yeah, brilliant. See here. There is Mango logging onto the server. See here. Whereabouts did I come out from? It's up here. So then the one that... Oh, hello, Mike Wazowski. The one that I did explore was that one. And then the path downwards was this particular one here. So get a golden apple from that is the next task here, whilst kind of dismantling all of this and being careful as I can whilst digging and what have you here, because I am only on 3 lives at the moment. And do you know what, actually, it will probably be an idea to do... Where do I want to put this? Do that. I wouldn't be able to get my water bucket back then. Maybe do it... No, but that is going to... Place it there for now, and I'll make a decision. Let's do that. Maybe I'll go to that lush island as well. Maybe there's an axolotl over there or something. But I would like to go to there as well. That Sudowoodo or Goblin is still kind of just floating over there for some reason. What was that purple thing I just saw down there, or pinky purple thing? It was weird. Let's see here. I want to go back and get the golden apple here. Okay. Go back down here, and I will pinch the item frame as well. There we are. And they've both become zombies when one of them was a villager a moment ago. I don't understand that. Okay. Let's go around here. How am I going to get over there? That is the question. definitely be an interesting little thing to figure out. There's a good possibility that Desert Temple has a boss witch in it. Right, okay. That brings back bad memories of the first stream and opening night on this server, so maybe I won't go in there, because that whole witch fight and what have you was a complete nightmare on opening night. And who was it? Was it Jen or Ori? Or maybe it was, I don't know. Somebody made a really good 35-minute video which proclaimed all of the which showcased all of the witch fight and what have you, which was really interesting. But no, it really is a completely different experience. Modded Minecraft of this kind of version for myself. I would have said there is Spumpkins down there. Maybe that's what I saw. And yes, I called them Spumpkins. Which does sound a little weird, but it is what it is. And sometimes innuendo things can be really funny in Minecraft overall. I'll actually record this next bit for a short. Actually, maybe not. Actually, I'll clip this if I feel like it is short worthy, but I'm not 100% sure. Before this, well, this is my first kind of. God, there's 4 of them over there. Jeepers, where are they all going? Are they on like a little march or something? There's a blue jay down there. Before. This is my first Minecraft kind of SMP for content creators that I am kind of playing on and what have you. But before this, is that another one through the tree that I saw moving? That I was playing on a Minecraft fan server before this SMP server, and where I kind of did a bit more town project kind of drafting and what have you, which was just a fan server of another YouTuber that I watch, not an SMP one or anything like that. But we all basically kind of built in a community area and what have you, in this kind of snowy mountain area. And I thought it would be a really fun idea to build a nightclub in like a snowy mountain next to an ice lake in our area. And because we're all kind of building in a snowy mountain area and it's a nightclub, I thought it'd be a kind of a clever double meaning name to name the nightclub Snowy Tips. If that is something that is possible to make on this SMP server at some point, I don't particularly know, but that will definitely be a fun project. That was the wrong button. That would definitely be a fun project for this server, to make a kind of a nightclub or something like that. Or maybe that is a kind of a thing the Crown Crew could perhaps build on this server or something like that, like a full-on like nightclub at the like spawn area, and we can like charge people diamonds for entry into it or something like that. That would be a really interesting kind of idea and what have you. Let's see here. Just toss that into here. But no, there's all sorts of possibilities with community Minecraft and what have you. At the end of the day, all sorts of things that can be built and kind of made overall, I guess you could say. So maybe I will be able to resurrect my Snowy Tips nightclub idea, something like that, if we can find a suitable snow biome for a particular that would be particularly suitable for a nightclub area or something like that. But who knows if that will kind of come about and what have you. Quick charger nose on for bows, that would be good. I'm not 100% sure what loyalty does though. I do have the growl palm thing on my boots, but I've got no idea what that kind of does. Let's see how I'm getting along in terms of digs and what have you from the kind of underground network. Let's see here. So that's fine. I could probably dig out the trench area for the paths and what have you for the kind of concluding bit of this stream and what have you, as I have kind of been going on for my now coming to semi-usual 2-hour mark, and have somehow only discussed 3 entries in my top 5's video ghost stories thing that I am talking about. Do I have any more chests on me? I had them somewhere. Oh, am I just going to be making more? No, I probably left them in here, didn't I? I did. Yes, I remembered that. Brilliant. Let's see here. I emptied my inventory, yes. Get rid of the axes though, because I won't need those. So the penultimate section in this top 5's video is in a ways a little bit of a nostalgic one for me. It takes place in a village somewhere in Dorset, yes, Dorset, England, called Timon Village. This particular clip and in turn story comes by way of a YouTube channel called Dorset Ghost Hunters. They have a very loyal and sizable following online, as per the video chronicling this particular event with them here. Is that a bit glitchy there? I'm not sure. Let's see. Might have to seal this off because of a cave though. Let's see. It's not too bad. It's just in case. Can't be too careful with myself now. Let's see. Take this real might as well. But the Dorset Ghost Hunters have overall amassed a pretty respectable. Why is there just a block of water here? Where's that from? Who knows where that's from? But they've amassed quite a sizable and loyal fan base online, as per this video, and I'm sure they still do. And one of their scariest investigations or pieces of evidence came by way of their investigation from Timon Village, which was a location in, or is a location in Dorset, England. and it's an abandoned location with a fair bit of history to it overall. And the villagers were forced out of it in 1943 for army training, and it was believed that they could return to the village at some point afterwards, but that never happened. The Dorset Ghost Hunters team believed they had come into contact with a villager that had returned to their home after death, as per this video's description. As is per this video's internal description. Piece of equipment that ghost hunters use called the EMF reader was going absolutely mad in certain particular areas of the ruins they were in, where it shouldn't have been. And EMF readers detect electromagnetic fluctuations, and if you were to hold it to like a operating television or something like that, naturally it would spike, because it detects the electricity in the television, and it's believed that ghosts can disrupt and manipulate this electromagnetic wave, in turn leading for this particular piece of equipment to be a piece of ghost hunting equipment. And in turn, with it kind of going off here, this is a possible indicator that they were indeed coming into contact with some kind of villager who had returned from the grave. Let's do that. Believe I did just hear a skeleton or something nearby. It's probably, yeah, I can hear him. He's probably down there somewhere. I'm not gonna say hello to him. Don't have a bone to pick with him. But this EMF reader was fluctuating absolutely wildly when it shouldn't have been doing so, which is a really interesting thing for it to do, and obviously a little spooky. The most interesting kind of thing that happens to the DGH team on this investigation, however, and as what is presented in this video, is their camcorder battery dying as they get the word electric through a device called the ovulus. The ovulus being some kind of device that allows ghosts to produce words through a preset dictionary or data bank on the machine, and it is also thought that ghosts can manipulate the energy of things, electronical things, to in turn manifest and what have you, which is kind of what is in turn seems to be happening with their cameras here. But it's a really interesting and weird coincidence that this happens, where they get the word electric through the ovulus, and they get the word electric through the ovulus, and their batteries just completely shut off on their camera, And as if this wasn't crazy enough to happen once, it unbelievably happens again to the Dorset Ghost Hunters, with their camera being drained again of a completely fresh battery, and with the word now appearing on the Ovilus being the word video, which is again really interesting and what have you. Although I'm not 100% sure of the entire kind of mechanics of this and what have you. In terms of the device and how it works and what have you. But it does seem a little odd to me, the words kind of pulled out of the Ovilus to me anyway, because I can imagine a ghost from this time period would understand what electricity is, this being just before World War II, but don't really think a ghost from that time period would understand what the word video means, unless the cameras back then were referred to as video cameras. But I think back then they were mainly referred to as just being film cameras, so that part of it is a little somewhat odd to me, but yeah, it's still really interesting and interesting cacophony of apparent activity that they capture on camera. And whereas those are the two kind of main pieces of events and what have you that are kind of presented by top fives here, there is one more bit showcased, which is the Ovilus producing the word mistress, with a plaque about a schoolmistress that used to reside in the building they're investigating, which is really interesting. So maybe it's the ghost of an old schoolmistress or something like that they have gotten into contact with, or something like that. But no, in terms of my kind of overall thoughts on Dorset Ghost Hunters kind of investigation here, I do find it extremely kind of interesting overall. I would have said but as I said, there is that kind of little odd thing with the word video being mentioned, which kind of is a little unusual to me. But overall, the kind of story overall and what is kind of displayed and presented here is still very fascinating and interesting to me overall, I would have said. And the location they're in as well is also very evocative of some sort of old ghost story as well, I would have said. I absolutely love all of the kind of photographs and what have you that were showcased in this particular section and what have you. It really reminded me quite a bit of the old ghost stories that I like, and the kind of old architecture, I would have said, that I mentioned earlier. The one I have on the brain at the moment is The Man with the Roller by E.G. Swain, as that was the most recent one that I had experienced thanks to a reading of it by somebody called Robert Lloyd Parry, who is very entertaining. But yes, overall, very interesting kind of investigation by Dorset ghost hunters, I would have said, and the whole kind of location that is prevalent in this particular location as well is very evocative of the kind of ghost story, I would have said, and feels very ripe and perfect for a ghost story overall, I would have said. Coming up to the general conclusion to this live stream and this overall video, we have a fairly frightening in terms of background story to the Porticello High School, which was a school built in 1892, which is still, I believe, located in Idaho. And this piece of footage from it occupies the final section of this particular top fives video. The school was had notoriety of celebrities and in turn became a focal point in its area around the time it was built, as it was visited by the likes of Theodore Roosevelt and William Taft. In 1914, it burnt to the ground by a fire from the boiler room, and after it was rebuilt, rumours of paranormal activity began to circulate in the building. This included whispering and unexplainable noises, the toilets flushing when nobody was there as well, being examples of the supposed paranormal activity that was experienced by people in this particular establishment. And there is a whole host of creepy and kind of horrific in terms of backstories, in terms of the school and what have you, and people in it. There's obviously the whole point of how it burnt down at one point and had to be rebuilt in 1914, but it's noted for having a few deaths in it. For example, a student drowned in a swimming pool that used to be in the establishment, but I believe that was closed up after a while, the swimming pool, or if it's still down, not 100% sure, but I believe that was closed up after a while, the swimming pool. Let's see here. Do that. And that. There's another story of how a student hung themselves from a locker, and a teacher reportedly doing the same but from a chandelier. And in 2015, some creepy surveillance footage was released, which was taken during the winter break of the school. On CCTV, a translucent figure is seen emerging from and re-entering a doorway, presumably by presumably of a classroom. I imagine this doorway is of and as at the time that it does this, all of the lights and what have you in the school that are at least being monitored by the CCTV go absolutely crazy and haywire. As we can see from this particular video, as it were, as this is literally just a phone recording of the CCTV camera matrix, so to speak, where they're all kind of all the kind of perspectives of the CCTV are kind of collected into one area. Let's see. That's and that. But overall, it's a very interesting and creepy clip overall, I would have said, and very interesting overall, I would have said. After witnessing all of this, the police were reportedly called, and nothing of unusual nature was discovered in the school itself. But overall, a very interesting and I guess creepy clip overall, I would have said. Like with a lot of the kind of things that I discuss in the live streams to this channel and YouTube channel and Twitch channel, a lot of the things in them to me look like that they can be faked quite easily and what have you, and this is kind of no exception, as it were. And this is also another example of how some things and what have you can look like they're made for kind of a school, not a school project, but like a film project or something like that. And this particular clip here definitely has that kind of aura and vibe around it overall, I would have said. So overall, whereas a particularly creepy kind of clip overall, it's not something that I would particularly go back and claim as paranormal evidence, and I'm not doing that for any of these clips anyway, but still, but still very interesting and creepy overall. It's just that I feel like that a lot of the stuff within this can be faked quite easily overall, and it is it would be a very powerful entity as well if it was real, to manipulate all of the lights at the same time in that particular room and what have you. So yeah, that's all I have to say on that, I would have said. And overall, this is a very interesting but somewhat flawed kind of collection of clips from top fives overall, I would have said. Although there are bits and pieces at it that I can nitpick at and criticize, like the Ghost Adventures stuff and a couple of other small bits and pieces within it. But as I always do with these particular clips and what have you that I talk about on this channel, for me at the end of the day, this these clips aren't proof of the paranormal. They are just simply ghost stories for me. And from that perspective, I have really enjoyed discussing and talking about this particular collection of clips by top fives overall. I would have said really interesting and kind of effective collection of ghost stories overall, I would have said. But although I would say that the Ghost Adventures stuff is probably, unfortunately, all fake, unfortunately, but that's just how it is sometimes. But overall, in terms of my progress today, I'm very happy with what I have managed to do in the kind of underground network for the Paranoid SMP and Crown Crew in turn. Bit different to be doing a solo stream on this particular server. My first kind of solo stream on this server, but at least I've not lost the ability to do that. And if there will be a solo stream, another stream coming on Sunday, which is the end fight and apparent mini game talent show for on the server. I do not know exactly, but it should be interesting to see what comes out of that. And I will be working until 8 o'clock that night. So if I'll be able to make that and what have you is another matter. But overall, I'm very happy with what I have managed to create today in terms of the underground network that I am kind of building for myself and the other 6 members of the Crown Crew overall. And I will definitely be doing more work on it off camera, more resource gathering and a kind of a bit of a better well, I've already got kind of a good grip on it, but kind of a bit of I don't even know what I'm saying, but it's another project for me to work on this server overall. But yeah, overall, I'm happy with what is going on today and what have you on this particular stream. Thank you for tuning in, Kat. And yeah, overall, I'm very happy with what I've managed to get done today and discussed. Subscribe. I hope you fellow haunts have enjoyed the 21st live stream on this channel, and I will see you